Hi, and many thanks for joining me. Well, another year is nearly at an end. It's been a wonderful year. I now not only have viewers in the UK, but all over the world. So I want to say a big hello and a big thank you to all of you. Your comments, remarks and messages are very much appreciated. They're supportive and they encourage me to carry on with what I'm doing, which is what it's all about. I've been producing cruising videos as well as the DIY videos. I did a series on painting the boat. I will be carrying on with that next year. Obviously cruising, I'll be doing a lot of that, more hopefully than I've done this year. I am thinking about what I will be doing next year in that regard. I won't say too much now, but I am planning more of a circular route, which will be more interesting than just going straight out and straight back, which is really what I have had to do because of the time involved. But I've given it a lot of thought and I've got something in mind which will be a circular route, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But hopefully I'll get out on many cruises next year, and I hope to receive your continued support. What I have for you today in this video is a bit of a mixed bag. Various different things, activities that I've been involved in, things that have happened, even something here in the Marina which I hope you'll find of interest. So it's slightly different from my usual format, but it is the last one for this year. I hope you'll enjoy watching it. We'll get straight on to that now, and I'll see you later. Bye for now. Some weeks back, the Environment Agency were in the Marina catching Zander fish. Zander fish are a non-native species, and if caught, they're not allowed to be put back in the canals or rivers, and actually are quite tasty, so I've read. To quote from the Canal and River Trust website, heavily boated canals or deep rivers are great places to catch zander. Zander are a member of the perch family and are very predatory, and this is the reason why they need to be caught and taken out of the rivers and canals. I understand a small electric charge is given to the water, which is quite safe and stuns the fish, bringing them to the surface, so the zander fish can then be picked out. In recent weeks I've done some more volunteering for the Canal and River Trust. I've done some offside vegetation cutting on the North Oxford Canal. More recently I've been involved with some wash-hole repairs on the South Oxford Canal opposite Napton Narrowboats. A wash-hole is where the water has washed out the edge of the bank and the towpath is getting unstable. Before I got involved, some repairs had already been made to the towpath along this stretch. What I was doing with a Canal and River Trust employee was preparing the wash holes ready for them to take cement bags. These are bags of aggregate and cement which are dry mixed and then put in the water. Along this stretch, although not visible, there is a wall underneath the water onto which the bags will be placed. The following week, about 60 bags were prepared and taken to the work site by tugboat and hopper. This is the site of Napton Brick and Tile Works, which was established in the 1800s and finally closed down in the 1970s. Work site is up ahead. Along here we can see the cement and aggregate bags which have been used for making repairs.
See how soft it is, it won't burn. Have that shovel so I can have a feel. It's quite solid to around there.
Yeah.
You can hear the spade being tapped on the wall under the water.
Sorry, I do talk things.
Getting that on 2 minutes.
We're just moving up to the next work position. Work is finished for the day, so the boat is going to be moored up, ready for collection tomorrow. Unfortunately, I wasn't available the following week when some of the backfilling over the bags was going to be made. I was at Watford Locks. When I came through Knapton Locks in April this year, the coping stones on one side of Lock 9 had been replaced. I believe this was a temporary repair, as in December the site was revisited and the coping stones replaced by ones that match the opposite side, and I think they've done an excellent job. This is the programmer that controls my Webasto diesel central heating on the boat. It's a 3-event programmer, which means I can set the start times for 3 different occasions. What it won't do is turn the central heating off. It's rather unusual therefore in that I can set 3 different times to start, but I can't turn it off, which quite frankly is not a lot of use. I have therefore decided to buy a more sophisticated programmer. What I've got to do is take this away. I'm going to use a back box. This is the actual back plate to the new timer. That will go on there, and then the front plate with the business on is this. The other thing to note is that there's a special connector. It has a square end. We'll look more closely at that when I unwrap it. The first thing I need to do is disconnect the 12-volt electric supply. Well, that didn't really go to plan. I had trouble getting the old programmer off the wall. I knew it was only held on by one screw, but I didn't know what it looked like behind, so I did a lot of research online, eventually found a rear view of it. There's a little strip at the front that should clip off and give access. Oops, just lost my light. Oh dear, let's start again. I do find it very difficult getting the lighting right. It's dark outside. I'm inside the boat in the corner where I've just fitted the new timer. And you know, if you shine a light at you, it's just too bright and you want to bounce it off the ceiling, and setting it up is very, very difficult. I think I need to look into getting a lamp on a stand, on a tripod or something, which I can move around and make it easier to set up. But I hope you can see me okay. I was just saying about the old programmer, which is this. I wasn't really sure how it was fitted to the wall. I knew there was a screw through it, and there's a cover here at the front where it says Webasto, and that's meant to clip off, but you clip it off from the left side. But I couldn't do that because this was mounted in the corner. I couldn't get to the little recess to clip it off. So anyway, I decided to wiggle it with a view to sort of breaking it off, and I got it off. But what I found was that it was actually mounted on this. Now this screw actually has a thread on it, and it's actually a push fit. It is designed to push in like that. So it wasn't a question of unscrewing it, it was just a question of realizing how it was made. And I did a lot of research to try and find the installation instructions, but I couldn't find any. I did find instructions, and I have some original instructions that came with the boat, but that's just on how to use it, not how to install it or set it up. So but anyway, I've got that done now, so I'm quite pleased about that. As soon as I plugged the electrical connector into the timer, it started operating. I'm just going through doing the programming now, but it's got preset programs I've noticed. I think it starts from 7 and stops at 9 in the morning. I think the other one was 4 o'clock until 8 o'clock in the evening. And as it's gone 4 o'clock, and I'd set the timer already to gone 4 o'clock, it just started working. I now need to set up the programmer. You can probably hear that the central heating is on. It's ticking, goes tick, 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 tick. Quite annoying in a way, but when you're inside the boat, further into the boat, you don't actually hear it. So it doesn't bother me at all. But it's quite a common feature on Webastos that you hear this tick tick constantly when the heating is running. I'm not actually very good at setting up things like this. The panel should be switched on, if not already on. Press the clock button and the word Monday will flash. Select the day you wish to program. Press the A button to accept. So the time is coming on at 7 o'clock. Enter the start time using pressing the H button to accept. I'm not doing something right here. Not really clear what it is yet. I think I need to check that it's got the right day and time. It's Tuesday today and I've got a feeling it thinks it's Monday. So I'm going to try and sort that out. Yes, it thinks it's Monday. I can see that now. Just here it's indicating Monday. I'm going to give it another go. That's right. That's right. And now we set it to Tuesday. It now knows the right day, Tuesday. So we've got 4 on-off cycles each day for 7 days. So it is quite an involved programmer. Well, I've now got it sorted, I'm pleased to say. At the moment, for each day, I've got exactly the same time settings. It will come on in the morning for 2 hours. It will come on in the afternoon for 4 hours. I'm not using any other settings. I need to think about when I want it on and when I want it off, because I do like to use my fire as well. What I can't tell is whether there's any automatic switch so that when it's off and you want it on, you can just hit a button and it will come on. I have got some other instructions that I found online apart from those that I've been provided with, so I'll have a look through that and see if I can better understand how the timer works. I've also done a volunteering stint at Watford Locks, the only stint I've done in 2 months. I wasn't rotated to do anything in November and only had the one opportunity in December, which is encouraging because it means there are lots of others who are volunteering as well. So the rota is fully covered without any difficulty of having to hunt around to get people to do it. So that's good. Hopefully next year I'll get a few more stints on the locks. I do enjoy that and meeting people. I did ask earlier in the year what sort of length you felt the cruising video should be. And I do make it clear that that was a reference to cruising videos and not anything else, because some videos are short by their mere nature. I've always thought it best for a cruising video to be up to about 20 minutes. Some of mine have been about 30 minutes. So I asked everyone what their feelings were on this, and I was really surprised to find that most people want to have longer cruising videos, about half an hour long. Which is fine. I'm happy to do that when I can. The important thing is that you need a natural sort of start to a video and a natural end, and that could come anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes, the way that I do the filming and so forth. But I have been having some difficulties with my editing software. I think everyone gets blips now and again, but it has been a little bit frustrating. And I wanted to explain that doing a 30-minute video is a lot different than doing a 20-minute video. I've had the odd issue where a frame will freeze. So what will happen is the audio will still sound, but the video, the moving film, will freeze. Here is an example. The sound is continuing, but as soon as I step up on the boat, the film freezes, but the next scene is fine. Sometimes it might just be for a few seconds, but I find that very frustrating, and I don't wish to publish any videos where that has happened. I have made some adjustments and resolved the issue. I might be able to moor along here. It's fairly open. Actually making a video is a very time-consuming business. It can take hours, days, even weeks to get a good video together, and that's fine. But having got the video together, we get to a point where we have to do a process called rendering. The video has to be rendered in order for it to come together. What the rendering process does is it brings all the elements of the video on the different tracks that one has been working on into the final product. Now, rendering a half-an-hour video could take about half an hour. But before I get to that stage, I've got to look at the whole video. Once I've finished the editing, I've got to review it all, and I'm constantly reviewing whilst I'm editing. So I think I'm ready now to render the video. So I look at it one more time, half an hour. I then do the render process, say another half an hour. Having rendered the video, I need to look at it to make sure it's okay. Another half an hour. So we've already got 1.5 hours with obviously a bit of wasted time in between. When you look at it that final time, you sometimes see things that you've missed. A title that you wanted to put on, or something hasn't gone quite so smoothly as you wanted in the transition from one clip to another. So what do? You revisit it and you start the process again, where you've got to edit, render, watch it again. The time is going on. It's a very time-consuming process. So if we have the example where a clip has frozen, so we're hearing the audio but the video has frozen, so there's no moving picture, I can go back into something like that, and very often I can sort it out. It can be a bit fiddly, because sometimes the thing will play fine at the editing stage but it won't render correctly. So it can be a difficult one to sort out. But sometimes I can do it literally in seconds. But then I've got another half an hour to render, another half an hour to watch it. You can spend 2 to 3 hours easily just correcting a scene that is only a few seconds long. And only once this year have I published a video that had a frozen clip. You may not have even spotted it. I obviously noticed it. I think, well, I'm fairly certain it was on the Chuff Chuff one where I visited the Battlefield railway line. I can remember the clip freezing, and I tried several times to correct it, but I couldn't do it. Just recently I went on a very short cruise to the fueling dock so I could buy some diesel. And then with help back to the boat onto my mooring. I've done this as it should be safer in the winter, especially as there is no boat alongside. The Marina is very good and provides plenty of grit for moorers' use. Because I'm based in the Marina and not a continuous cruiser like some of the other boat tubers, it's more difficult for me to come up with new videos. My trip to the Ashby Canal, which I thoroughly enjoyed, was 16 days long, and I actually produced 12 videos from that. Looking ahead to next year, I do need to change my approach. I'm hoping that you won't notice anything different, but the fact is I take hundreds, literally hundreds and hundreds of video clips to produce each video. All those video clips have to be looked at in real time to know what is on them, to know whether I've done any narrative whilst cruising. I have to look at those. That in itself is very time consuming. So a lot of what I take is not used. And what I need to do, I need to educate myself into a fashion of filming whereby I'm taking fewer video clips. That way it will be quicker for me to do the editing. I use 3 cameras on board. I have one fixed on the bow. Sometimes I have that on the stern. I have a camera fixed at the stern which is facing me, or I can move it around 360 degrees, and I have a handheld camera. And one of the difficulties has been making sure those cameras have the same time. I had a problem. I have a GoPro camera, and I had a problem setting the time on that. And when I want to see one clip relative to another, looking at the time the clip was taken is quite important. I've now resolved that with the GoPro. So all 3 cameras should show the same time, and it's easier for me to find clips and how they relate to each other. But I think in my own mind, I need to take fewer video clips so that I've got less to look through, because it is very, very time consuming. You know, if I've taken 100 clips, for example, and I only use 50, I've still got to look at 100. But I'm taking 200-300 or more clips, and it's just too much. So I need to have a different approach for next year. I didn't really want to get into a routine of publishing every Saturday. I'd rather make it a little bit less certain and more exciting for you. I don't know whether it's good that you know that a clip might come out on a Saturday or not. Perhaps I should do it on a Thursday or Wednesday or Sunday. I think I will make some variation next year, because I think it will make it more interesting. You'll never quite know when a video is going to come out. And I may also not be able to produce a video every week. That is very hard going. I do have other interests, and to do those videos for once a week is quite hard. What I've really enjoyed this year is meeting followers of the channel. I was surprised in May at the Crick Boat Show how many people recognised me when I was by myself and not talking to other boat tubers. But it is delightful to stop and have a chat. If you do ever see me when I'm out and about, please say hello. If I seem a bit aloof initially, it will probably be because I feel I should recognise you, and I won't, of course, if we haven't met before. But I'm quite approachable. I'm always happy to stop and have a few words, so if you do spot me, please let me know. I meet people in all sorts of places. Sometimes it might just be crossing boats on the canal, or when I'm out shopping, as happened fairly recently. It's just nice to say hello, so please do, if you see me, say hello. I'm working on various videos at the moment. Don't want to say too much about those. There will be another pumping station video, which is quite interesting. Obviously not connected directly with canals, but it is all to do with water. So hopefully that's something to look forward to. I do know that some of you like to see things other than the cruising videos, so I am trying to give some variety. Thank you all for watching and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. Keep your comments coming. I enjoy reading those. Christmas will soon be upon us. I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but for those that do, I hope you have a wonderful time with your friends and families. And for those that don't, I send my best regards. All that remains for me to say is keep safe, keep warm, take care, and bye for now. I'll see you next year. Cheers everyone, and once again, many thanks.